and welcome to episode 101 of the She Must Knit podcast. My name is Erin, and thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you guys had a good 2 weeks. It's just under 2 weeks when I'm recording, but by the time this goes up, it'll probably be about 2 weeks. I am finding things are just taking longer and longer to upload now, I guess because everybody is at home using their internet. But yeah, so how have you guys been doing? I think we've kind of entered a really nice groove with the current situation and just everything going on. We've kind of gotten into a rhythm with homework. I still have some days where she is very resistant and gives me a lot of attitude about it, but for the most part, we're in a routine. I've gotten into a nice routine with the baby. I'm feeling really good. The weather's getting nicer. We've been able to go out, but more on that later. I think we'll do a little update near the end. But yeah, so I've got quite a bit to talk about today. The table in front of me is very, very full. I have a feeling I am going to forget something, but I am going to do my best. So I hope you've been well, and let's get started. So what do I have for you today? I have, we're going to do the monthly winner. I'm going to try not to forget to do that. I have a finished object. I have a whole bunch of projects that I've been working on. I think most of them are ones that are fairly recent projects. You've seen me working on them. There's one that's not really a new project, but I'm working on it again and I've changed it. So it's something from a long, long time ago. I don't even think I started it when I started this podcast. I think I started it before that, and I don't know if you've ever seen me actually working on it. I think I brought it out for a special episode when I went through all my project bags and just what was I going to do with them. But anyway, I've brought back an old languishing project and I'm changing it a little bit. So I've got that. I've got upcoming projects. I've got upcoming projects that I have the yarn for, and then I have upcoming projects that I've ordered yarn for. Oh my goodness, I don't know about you, but staying home, I've had to resist the urge to do so much online shopping. I'm really trying to rein it back, but I did order some yarn for some projects that I want to do that I don't have the yarn for. So I have upcoming projects that I want to talk about. I have an acquisition. I don't usually share those on here. Usually I show yarn. If I buy yarn, I usually show it when I'm ready to work on it. But this one's kind of special, so I wanted to share that with you. I'll do that near the end. I've got my bingo update, I've got my monthly goals update, and then I think at the very, 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 very end, since it has been a month since little baby Kira has joined us, and I know there are many of you who have enjoyed just keeping up with the whole baby thing and you know how everything from pregnancy to the birth and everything has progressed. I think I'm going to do a little 1 month update about how she is doing. So this is going to be, I think, a pretty beefy little episode. If you like longer episodes, this one is for you. So let's get started. I'm going to start with my one finished object. No, I'm not. I'm going to start, see, I almost forgot again. I'm going to start with the monthly winner. So if you are a new viewer, every month I go through, I take the comments that were made in a given month. So it could be a comment on any of my videos, but if they were made in a given month, I write those down. I assign numbers to them. I also assign numbers to any purchases made in my shop. Each item purchased counts as an entry, and then at the end of the month I do a drawing for a $20 coupon that can be used in my shop. It's just my way of thanking you for engaging with my channel and supporting me. So I did the drawing for when we were in May, so April, and the winner was Vanessa from A Historian Knits. She is a podcast friend of mine. We kind of met. I mean, obviously we haven't met. She lives in Colorado, but we met last year, and I know you comment almost on almost every single video of mine. I watch all of yours. I don't always get to comment, but I do watch all of yours. And yeah, so one of your comments was picked by the random number generator as the winner, and so you have won the coupon for this month. So I know you know how to contact me. You can do that, and I will set that up for you. So we have got that done. Monthly winner is done. So now we can go into my one finished object, and that of course is my monthly Desert Vista Dyework socks. So here they are. These are the socks that I made for the month of April. This was the colorway, what was this, Thom Dragon. I'm making these, or I made these for my mom for a gift. I think I'm going to give these to her for Mother's Day. I don't think we're going to see each other on Mother's Day, but hopefully in the near future we will be able to see each other, even if I just go over and kind of drop them off. We'll see. We'll have to see how the regulations and everything change over the next couple of weeks. But I made these for her, and she has super tiny feet, so they were a pretty quick knit. I just did my regular vanilla pattern. Because she has smaller feet, I think I used my 72 stitch cast on versus my 81 when I make them for larger sizes or larger calves. And I just did the plain knitting, my triangular shaped heel with the reverse stockinette, plain foot. I don't think I did any yarn management when I joined back around. Usually what I try to do is I just watch where the stripes start and stop, and if I'm finishing up the heel turn and I'm almost at where a new stripe will start, I might just do like an extra row or so, just so that it starts on a fresh stripe when I rejoin. So I also did the thing where I reversed the yarn. So after I finish the first sock, I rewound the cake so you can see the stripes. I like how the black stripes kind of match up there, but then the gray and blue stripes are in reverse order. So these are all done, and I will admit I had a moment of panic with the April socks. I actually finished them before the last day of the month. I finished them on the 29th, and I posted my picture on Instagram, and I was all pleased with myself. I think I went into Ravelry. I updated the picture in there. I marked them as finished. I put my yardage in and everything, and then that was that. And then the 30th came, and I will admit, it was after midnight. Susan usually says that you have to enter your finished pictures in the Ravelry thread by midnight her time. She's in Arizona, but I think it's just whenever she is available, she'll lock the thread. It was after midnight. It was in the middle of the night. I was feeding Kira, and I was sitting there in the almost dark. I mean, it's not dark. I have a little light on, but I was feeding her. I don't know what I was thinking of, but all of a sudden it just occurred to me that I had not posted my picture in the Ravelry thread. And I was like, don't tell me, April, only 4 months into this challenge, I've blown my chance to do the full year challenge because I just forgot to put my picture in. It wasn't even like I was knitting at the last minute and I didn't make it on time. I just forgot to put the picture in. So as soon as Kira was done eating and I had her all back to sleep, I was on my phone going into Ravelry trying to find a thread and just praying that she hadn't locked the thread yet. And she hadn't locked the thread yet. So I popped in there, I put my picture in, and I was like, hopefully it will be good. And I think it was. I think, you know, I was among the group that she counted for April. So thank goodness I have to remember not to do that again. I have to be sure as soon as I finish my socks to check all my boxes and put them in all the threads that they need to go in. But I finished for April, and I've cast on for May. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about those. So let's go into my works in progress. And we will start with my May Desert Vista dye work socks. So I don't think I showed these to you in progress last time because it was still April, but I did show you the yarn. This is the yarn that I picked for May. It was the exclusive skein from 2019 if you finish the challenge. And I have made a slight change. So when I first showed these to you last time, I had said that I was planning on making these for my youngest brother for his gift socks for this coming Christmas. And I totally started these with that intention. Actually, no, I think I realized this before because I know my cast on number was different than if I had made them for my brother. So I think before I started them, I had wound up the cake and I was just looking at these colors, and it occurred to me that these are the exact colors that a friend of mine really likes, and I make her socks every year. Her birthday is in June, and I think every year for at least the last maybe 3 years or so, I've made her a pair of socks for her birthday. She does knit, but she has yet, I think she only recently made her first pair of socks. It's been years and years and years. She's always saying that she intends to make socks, she wants to make socks, she wants to learn how to make socks, she just never has. And I think recently on Instagram she posted her first pair of finished socks. But yes, it occurred to me that these were exactly her colors. She loves purples and she loves autumn colors. And so I thought, oh my goodness, I totally forgot about making her a pair of socks this year. We don't see each other as much now. She moved, I think the last time I saw her was in October when we went to the Woodstock Festival. And yeah, so before I cast on, I was like, that's it. I'm not going to make these for my younger brother. I think I actually ordered recently some Desert Vista Dye Works yarn that he will like better. When that comes, I'll either post a picture on Instagram or I'll show you guys. We'll see. But that's going to be for my brother, and these are going to be for my friend. So this is what I have so far. I was able to cast on May 1st, and I've got the cuff done. And I've started doing the increases in the heel. You can see I've started the reverse stockinette portion in the heel. So she has the same size feet as I do, so I used my numbers. I cast on 81 stitches, and it's okay. This seems like the simplest thing. Sometimes your brain just doesn't use common sense. So I cast on 81 stitches because that's what works with the 2x1 rib that I do. And then usually when I get to the stockinette part, I take one stitch away and then I have 40 stitches on each needle. And then what I've started doing recently, because I like the foot to be a little tighter, I like a looser leg, and I know the way I've made my socks for me, I've made for my friend and she likes them too, but I like the foot to be tighter. So usually I decrease some stitches before I get to the foot. So in the last couple of pairs I've done, I've tried decreasing, you can see that little dip there. I've tried decreasing those stitches out before, right when I start the heel increases. And when I was making this pair, I realized that I had forgotten to take out that extra one stitch, but because when I start my increases, I like to have an even amount of stitches on this side and this side, and then I start it with one single purl. I realized that that extra stitch on the one side would be my little purl stitch before I start on every other row increasing 2 stitches within this area. So I was like, well, that will make things so much easier going forward because I don't have to rearrange my stitches. I don't have to remember to get rid of one. I can just do my 81 stitches and divide it, and then I have that little extra stitch all ready to go when I do my heel. It seems so simple, but my brain just didn't think of it beforehand. But anyway, this is where I am right now. I'm in the process of increasing for the heel. And yeah, I'm just going to do my regular vanilla sock, and hopefully, well, obviously they're going to be done by June because they're my May socks, but hopefully I don't think I'm going to be able to see her, so I will probably get her address and just mail her a little birthday surprise. I think that will be really nice. So yeah, I think that's all I have for those, but I'm going to add a little something in here that is related to another pair of my DVD socks. If you'll remember back in March, I made the Season Buddy socks, and it was from the yarn that Avery picked out for her teacher. And I had mentioned, I think in the last episode, that I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to give them to her because with the schools being closed and everybody being home, and they still haven't said that school's going to be out till the end of the year. They just keep giving us a date and then kind of extending it. I said that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to give them to her, but they were the same size as my feet, so if I couldn't, I could always keep them. Well, last week, she sent an email out to the parents saying that she had been working on a special gift for the students. She made them all pillowcases using fabric that she had. She's a quilter, and that she was going to be making the rounds and delivering them, just leaving them on the porch, ringing the doorbell, just as a special little gift for all the kids to know that, so they know that she is thinking of them. And I thought, perfect, she's going to be coming to the house. I have these socks, so I packaged them up and I put them in a little bag and I wrote her a little card and I hung it on our door because I didn't know when she was going to come. I hung them on our door so that when she came and dropped off Avery's pillowcase, she would be able to get them. And she did, and she sent me a lovely little email thanking me. So even if we don't go back to school by the end of this year, I know she still got her socks, and that is just, yeah, she got her socks, she got her gift, and I know she appreciates them. So it makes me feel good. So that is just something extra about that. And then, yes, those are my May Desert Vista Dyework sock. So now we can go into the projects. I think I'm going to do the 2 projects that you have seen, and then I will go into the project that is older that I have kind of revamped a little bit. Let's start with my Cumulus blouse. So the last time I showed this to you, I was working on the body, and I had said it was one of my goals for the month of April to finish the body of the sweater. I was working on the ribbing of the hem, and I just had maybe an inch or 2 left to go, and then I also had the neckline to go, and then I had the sleeves to go if I wanted to finish everything, but I just wanted to finish the body, and I did. So this is the bottom. You can see I've got the hem all done, I've cast off, and then I even was able to do the neckline. So you can see the neckline here. What the pattern had you do was just pick up the stitches around the whole v-neck and then do an I-cord bind off. And I think it looks really, really nice. It looks really finished. I quite like it. The pattern was also originally written to have that kind of finishing on the bottom of the hem. But I just knew that's not what I wanted. Like, that's just not the style or fit that I would have liked, so that's why I did the ribbing. This is, I think I said, this is the Cumulus blouse, and I will post a picture in the corner there so you can see what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to be a little bit shorter. It's supposed to, I think you do some decreases before you do the hem in the original, so it's supposed to kind of go in a little bit, and then it has the full length sleeves. I'll probably do 3/4, that's just my preference, but I am very happy with my progress so far. I've got the neckband done, I've got the hem done, I just have to pick up and do some sleeves. I will also post a picture because after I finished the body I tried it on again just to see if I like the length. So I will post that picture up so you can see how it's looking with the v-neck finished and the hem finished. So yes, all I have to do is pick up for the sleeves. Hopefully they won't take too long, but we will see. I always tend to get stuck on Sleeve Island. I really dislike doing sleeves. I have a feeling I'm going to end up picking up and knitting them flat and then seaming. Sometimes I am just not in the mood to deal with magic loop sleeves. I don't know. It's just sometimes I will and sometimes I won't, and I have a feeling I just want to knit back and forth for these, but we'll see. The yarn, I haven't mentioned the yarn when I've talked about this sweater in quite a while, and I know some of you guys have remembered because you've made comments about it, that I used some yarn that my dad brought back for me when he went on a year. I think he was there for a year. This was right around when Avery was born, because I remember he left me since he was going to be gone for so long, he left me with his car. When we moved up here, we only had one car, and so Dennis would obviously take that to work, and I was pretty much homebound most of the time other than just neighborhood walks and stuff. And it was right when Avery was born, and so by him leaving me the car, it gave me quite a bit of freedom. I still really appreciate that he was able to do that. But he was gone. He lived in China for a year. He was teaching English there, and he brought me back this yarn as a gift. I don't know what it's called. I don't know the gauge. I don't know much about it. It's supposed to either be cashmere or have cashmere in it. I don't know. It is very soft. It is a lovely yarn. You can kind of see the heathered, there's like that yellow heather there. He brought me back a whole bunch of this green color and then smaller amounts of a turquoise color and a yellow color, which I still have no idea what I'm going to do with, but I'm very happy to be working something up in at least the green, and the next time I see him, I can at least show him that I've made something with the yarn that he brought back, and I think it's actually working really, really well for this pattern. It is like a very thin lace weight yarn, and I am holding it double for this. I don't think I've mentioned that in a while either, but yeah, I'm holding it double, and I'm very pleased with the fabric. I'm very pleased with the fit so far. I'm happy to be working on this again, and I'm happy with just how it's looking. And I just heard a baby peep. Hopefully she stays asleep. I will talk about this more in the baby update, but yes, she has shifted to the new phase. She is no longer like a sleepy newborn. She's gone to the next phase. So hopefully she'll stay asleep, but anyway, I'm just going to keep pressing on, and we'll deal with that if we need to deal with that. So that is my Cumulus blouse progress. The next thing I'm going to show you is how I'm doing on my little May dress. So this is something that I decided to cast on. A couple weeks ago, I just had the urge to cast on a garment for Kira, and I wanted to use stash. So I pulled out this, it's a I'm pretty sure it's a fingering weight cotton, but it's made up of 4 like individual strands. So you can kind of see there that it's made up of 4 individual strands, and then as you progress through the cake, the strands kind of do a gradient in color by changing out the different colors of strands. So you start off, I started off up here and there was 4 strands of the light blue, and then down here it goes to 3 strands of the light blue, 1 strand teal, 2 strands of each. This is 3 strands teal, 1 strand light blue, and then now I'm in this section here, which is 4 strands of the teal. And then as you can see with the cake, it will eventually transition to that nice dark purple. So this is how I am doing so far. This is kind of a reversible dress in the way that you can wear either the buttons at the front or the plain section at the front. I did make this pattern for Avery when she was little as well, and I really liked having her wear it with the buttons at the front. The last time I showed this to you, I was in this section here. So you can see I've made quite a bit of progress. It's not a bad knit to work on. It's fairly easy because I'm just at the point where I'm going round and around and around. My plan is just to keep working until I kind of run out of the yarn, and then I'm going to do, once I get to that dark purple, I'm going to finish off with the same seed stitch that you see here. I'm going to do a seed stitch border. The only thing I don't like about is, I mentioned last time how sometimes the strands kind of go out of alignment, and that can be a little bit irritating. And then also because there are 4 threads to this, I find I have to work just a little bit slower because I have to make sure that I'm catching all the strands. So I don't think it's very noticeable, but there are definitely parts within the knitting where 1 strand is off. There might be an extra loop. I try and catch it on the back and kind of tuck it in so that it gets hidden on the back of the knitting. But it's not, for me, I'm not a big fan of cotton yarn, so this isn't the most pleasant thing to work on, but I do think it has a really nice effect, and I do think this is going to be a really, really cute dress once it's done. Hopefully, I'm hoping I can stretch out the bodice a little bit because I think it's going to just fit her now, and it would be nice if it could get a little bit more use, like it could be a dress now, but then like a tunic. I don't know, but I just wanted to use some stash. I'm happy with how this yarn is working up in this pattern. I like how it looks. I'm sure it's going to block really nicely and be really soft. And yeah, it will just be another skein out of my stash. I really didn't have any plans for that yarn. It's one of the Shirley Bryant yarns. I know most people make shawls with it. I'm just not someone who wears shawls. I don't mind making them, but I just don't wear them, so I've learned not to make them unless it's a pattern that I know I will wear or if I'm making it for someone else. So yeah, this didn't have any other project that I was going to use it for. And you know what, even if she only wears it for a little bit, maybe I can kind of pass it down to someone else at some point. So those are the 2 projects that you've seen. So now let's talk about the project that I kind of have brought back from the dead. It's been, I should have checked before sitting down when I started this. I was going to make this for Avery when she was little, I think, okay, I'm going to try and put in the corner here what year I started this project, but it's been many, many, many years. And the original pattern is called Owl Obsession. It is a blanket pattern. I've actually made the blanket before. When Avery was younger, I used to go to baby Pilates classes just as a way to get out of the house and to meet some other mums and to meet some other babies. Well, for Avery to meet other babies. And the instructor, she found out that I knit and crochet and stuff, and she had asked me if I could make a blanket for her daughter, and she had picked out that pattern, and I made it. I made it out of acrylic yarn. She wanted it washable. If I can find a picture, I'm sure I have one on Ravelry. I will post that up. But I have made this pattern before, and I really, really enjoyed making it. So once I had made hers and given it to her, I was like, you know what, I really want to make one for Avery. And my goal was to make it completely out of hand spun. So this has been a process because I had to spin enough yarn for all the little motifs, and I did. I spun enough colored yarn for all the little motifs, and then I had gotten to the point where I was spinning the yarn for kind of the borders, and that's where I kind of got hung up. I think last year or the year before, I was still in the process of spinning more border yarn, because I would take those colorful motifs and I would add borders, and then when I ran out of that yarn, I would have to spin more. And what I was doing for that was using undyed wool and then speckling it. So it's just been a process, and it has been sitting and sitting and sitting and sitting in my languishing UFO pile, and I keep looking at it, and I'll bring out all the pieces and I'll just be like, I'll put them back because I just don't want to deal with them. So I find, you'll have to let me know if this is the case for you, but I'm finding this whole staying at home thing is just, it's making me want to finish all the things, but it's also making me want to start all the things. It's making me want to buy all the things, eat all the things. Oh my goodness, like I'm going through the cupboard and just trying to use up all the stuff that we have and making different things to try and eat up. We're snacking a lot. We're buying a lot of snacks. Anyway, there's just a whole lot of like mental changes because of being at home. We're still doing quite well. We're all very positive. I've just noticed that there's like a shift in some areas of our life. There's been like this shift, and one of them for me is, again, just wanting to finish all the things, going through, cleaning up, just wanting to like tie loose ends on things. So one of the projects is this Owl Obsessions blanket, and I've come to realize that I don't want to make this blanket. Like, I don't want to finish it as a blanket. I'll show you briefly kind of what I have and then how I'm going to change it. So when I first brought it out, I actually thought I had more done than I do, but I still think the way I'm going to work with it, I think it shouldn't be too bad. So basically with this pattern, you make a whole bunch of these owl circles. So you can see these ones have little ears. These are the owls. And then you make a whole bunch of just the circles without the ears. You also make a bunch of little circles and you trim them, and I've done all of these. So these little squares for the pattern, I've done all of them. There are also these little wedge pieces, and you do a whole bunch of these, and these kind of go between the larger pieces for kind of filling in the gaps. I thought I had more of these done, but I only have 2 of these done. And quite honestly, I have no desire to keep making these. And then what you do is you take those owl pieces and those circle pieces and you put edges on those to help kind of join everything together. And I only have 3 of those with that edging. So I would have to edge this whole stack of owls and circles. I would have to do edging on those. I would have to make more of those wedges. And just the idea of that, I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I also didn't want to waste what I've done because I actually really like how these look. I like the hand spun that I did. I like the different colors. I do like this border yarn that I came up with. So yeah, I sat down the other day, I pulled out all these pieces, I laid them down on a table, and I just tried to figure out a way that I could make something with them, and just kind of finish off this project, just get it off of my, UFO pile, and still be able to enjoy it. So I'm not planning on making this for Avery anymore. I think she's outgrown this whole idea. But with the arrival of a little Kira and her room, I thought it would be something nice to have for her that we could put in her room. And so what I've decided to do is I looked at all my pieces and I'm going to try and make a pillow with them. So a cover, I have this pillow form that I actually had with Avery's nursery, and there was a different fabric on it because her nursery was kind of like primary colors and animal themed, and I had made a fabric cover for this pillow form. I've taken that cover off, so I have this big pillow form, and I'm going to try and make a cover with these for that pillow form that can go in her room on the chair and just be kind of decoration. So what I've decided to do, I had all those pieces that I just showed you, and then I also had 1 skein of this border yarn that I've done, and then I had 2 skeins of this border yarn. And this yarn, these 2 yarns look slightly different because the bare yarn, the bare fiber that I used for this was a BFL, and it was a bit more of a cream, whereas I think this was a merino, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell the difference, but the base is more, it's more of a pure white, and this is more of a cream. So these were going to look different anyway, and I had two skeins that were like this. So what I decided to do was crochet a square. And the reason I decided to do this is because I only have two skeins of this more cream-based speckle yarn, and I have no desire to order more bare fiber. I have no desire to spin more. I have no desire to, like, I just have no desire to make any more things to go with this project. I want to use what I have and just get something done. So I figured if I started in the center and did a crochet, just a regular flat kind of crochet square, I'll just keep growing until either A, I reach the size of that pillow form that I have, or B, I run out of yarn. And if I run out of yarn and it's not the size of the pillow form, I will just figure out a way to adjust the pillow form. I will, like, you know, use the stuffing and sew off some edges and make the pillow form just fit whatever square I have. So this is going to be the front of the pillow form. And what I'm going to do is, once I have this done, I've picked out 9 of these guys. So I forget how many owls and how many circles, but I figured it out so that it goes like, you know, owl, circle, owl, and then the next row is like circle, owl, circle, and then the last row is owl, circle, owl. And I'm going to not do edgings on these, but just take them and stitch them down. I'm going to stitch them down on this kind of background here. I will do kind of the finishing on them with the eyes and the little beaks. But yeah, I'm just going to stitch these down in an even way on the base of this, and this will be the front. And then for the back, I'm going to use all these little squares. So I'll have to lay them out and see if I can get these to kind of make an even pattern that will be the same size as the front piece. And then I will probably use this to, if I need to add anything to these to make them bigger to kind of fill the space, I will use that. And then I'm also going to be willing to pull the borders off of these guys if I need to use that to kind of even this up. So I'm hoping that these will make up the back of the pillow. That other piece I'm working on will make up the front of the pillow, and then we can just call this done. So there's still, you know, all things considered, there's still a fair bit of work to be done to finish this, but I think it's work I'm willing to do. So we'll just have to see. Hopefully I'll be able to plug away at it, because I'd really just like to finish it. I feel like if I don't push through and do this, I'm just not going to do anything with these pieces. And, you know, like, I don't want to throw it out. Like, I'm really happy with the handspun that I made, but I also don't want it sitting on my shelves anymore. Like, I just want to do something with this. And I actually have another project that's been sitting forever and ever and ever, and I have no desire to finish it as planned, and I'm going to be revamping that one as well, but I want to do this first, and then we'll get to that one. So yeah, that is the other project that I've been working on this week, and hopefully by the next time I talk to you, there will be some progress on that. But I think the next thing I have to talk to you about is upcoming projects. So like I mentioned a minute ago, I have just been wanting to finish all the things, start all the things, just all the things, you know, buy all the things. I have had to resist casting on things. It's been really hard, but I've been able to do it. I've been doing lots of just dream knitting, like going through my queue and just picking out projects that I really want to make, and, you know, which one should I make first and what do I have the yarn for? And I've just been thinking about all the things. I just want to start all the things. Is this happening to you too? Do you want to start all the things? But I have 3 projects here that I will probably start in the near future that I have the yarn for. So I'm going to share those with you this week. And then I have ordered some yarn. I've been a little naughty, but I will say I haven't really ordered yarn since before Christmas. If you remember, if you were watching my Vlogmas, there was one episode where I did some unboxings. I think I did a Knit Picks order. I haven't really ordered yarn other than the odd DVD scheme since then. I hear baby peeps. We'll have to see. I'm going to have to give her a minute and just see if she'll settle, because it is not time for her to wake up yet. But yeah, I don't know if you heard that. Okay, I think she's gone back to sleep. I just had Avery, she walked over there. As soon as she hears her make a peep, she is like right in her business. But she checked and she said she's going back to sleep. So all is well. So yes, like I said, I have 3 projects that I'm going to show you now, but I have ordered some yarn. And I don't totally feel bad about it because, like I said, the last time I ordered yarn was back in December. I really don't tend to buy a lot these days, and I bought yarn specifically for projects that I want to do that I don't have the yarn for. So I think when those orders come in, I might do another little clip, like a little unboxing clip. I find those are very fun to do. So I might do a little unboxing and share with you what I ordered and also what projects I plan to make with that yarn. But for now, I have these three. So I have 3 projects that I have the yarn for, and then I have 1 acquisition that I want to share with you as well. So let's get started. So this one, let's start with this. This is an easy one. I know I could finish this project very, very quickly, but this week I ventured out to a Walmart. I attempted to go to Walmart. I haven't been there since back in March before the whole stay-at-home thing happened, and I just have not been brave enough to go there again since. So this week I needed enough things that I could get there that I tried to go, and it was fine. It was a very pleasant experience. I got everything I needed. There was no trouble. I didn't have to wait in line or anything. Everybody was very, it was a pleasant experience. But while I was there, I wanted to go to the yarn section because I have been dying to make more of these little chenille blankets. I made one before Kira was born. I made one, and I used that thing every day for different things. I use it every day. I use it when we go for walks. I use it as a little mat to change her on. I use it if she's sleeping and I just if I'm holding her and I just want a little bit of extra warmth on her, I use it for that. And I'm finding that if I bring it out on the stroller and we go for a walk, I might forget it in the stroller, and then we'll go inside and I'll be like, where's my little blanket? So I just want more of them. I found them really, really handy, and they also wash really, really well. So I've used it, like I said, we use it every day, and she's peed on it and she has spit up on it, and I can do a quick cycle wash and a quick cycle dry and have it back in to use in about 30 minutes, and it still looks brand new. It dries really, really quickly. It's just been very, very handy. So I want more of them. I want one upstairs, I want one in the stroller, and I want one for the main level, just so I just don't have to go searching for it. And then also, if she gets it dirty, I have kind of one I can use right away while one is being washed. So like I said, I was in Walmart. I wanted to see if they had this yarn and what colors they had, and I found this one, and I think it's really pretty. It's called Dusk Horizon, and I just like that it had kind of not too much of a baby pink. It's a little bit brighter, more of a bubblegum maybe, but it also had these kind of gray tones and these dusky blues, and then kind of this beigey gray as well. So I thought this was really pretty. Spoiler, one of the orders that I placed online also has a ball of this type of yarn in it because I just want to make more. And I think actually I made an Amazon order like a month ago, and understandably they're prioritizing certain items. So some items are going out faster than others just based on need. And so I placed an order for a couple of things back in April, and they had this yarn on Amazon as well, and I threw one of those in my cart. So all in all, I think I'm going to have 4 of these little blankets, which is perfect. It's perfect. I know I will use them. So I have another ball of this yarn coming from Amazon. I have one coming from another place. Anyway, you will see them when I do the unboxing. But that is on the horizon in the near future. I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being like a weekend project that I just start crocheting and have that done because they're just so quick. I can do one in a day. The other 2 things that I have the yarn for that I really want to cast on soon are little garments. So the first one, I have this yarn here, and this is she used to be Totally Inked Yarns. I think she's now Blue Water Fiber Arts. This is a skein that I picked up at the Purple Sock when I was up visiting there probably last year sometime. It's just very, very pretty. And I actually skeined this up to make, if you remember in the last episode, I said I was so close to making some thick worsted weight socks, and my plan was to hold 2 fingering weight skeins together. This was one of them. So I had it kicked up. I was all ready to do that project, and then I kind of reined myself in and decided I didn't need those right then. So I've decided to use this for a little garment for Kira, and I'm going to hold it double because it's a worsted weight pattern. And what I want to use this for is, it's the Tartlet. It's a shrug by Froginette Designs, who is one of my favorite child designers. And this is a pattern that I have in my library, so this would work for my bingo card, and also because it's a little shrug, I don't think it would take very long. So I thought this would be a really fun pattern to do. It would use some yarn that I really like, and I think going into the fall it will be a really useful little layering piece. So I probably would do like a 6-month size. At this point, I don't think I'm going to be making much to go over the summer months. I'm thinking more things that will last through the winter and into next year. So that's one of them. Then the other thing was, it started off with, I saw the pattern on Ravelry. I think I was just looking up baby patterns one day, or I was looking through my favorites, things that I had just kind of saved as something that I liked. And I saw this pattern. I think it's called String of Pearls or something like that. I will have the name in the picture that I will kind of pop in there. But I just thought this was just such a cute little pattern. Now, I don't have this pattern, so it won't count towards using patterns I already have in my library, but I think it's really, really sweet, and I could even see making one for Avery maybe in brighter colors. I don't know. It's just, sometimes things catch your eye and you just want to make them. So I was looking through my stash, so at least I could use stash for this. And I found some yarn that I think would be really pretty for this too. So I have this yarn here. This is actually some Bling Your String yarn. And I had this, it's a flawed yarn, so I think, yeah, I have it right here. The yarn came like this from the supplier. I don't know if you can see there that there's kind of a split there, and it kind of goes kind of funky. So I had this on discount, and then I decided just to keep it because I thought the color turned out really, really nice. It's all these kind of peaches and stuff. And then I have this leftover. This is about 40 grams of a leftover in this gray color. And I thought this would make a really, really cute, this would suit that pattern really, really, like really, really well. So I would use this gray for the top part, and then I would use this peach for the bottom part. And then to even seal the deal further, when I was at Walmart this week, I just had a little browse through the baby section, and I found this little sleeper. Look, it's got a little sheep on it, and it's got little sheep footies. So I was like, I had that yarn kind of picked out, and then I found this, and then when I got home I was like, wouldn't that sweater look really cute kind of layered over top of this? I mean, I know you would probably just see the leg parts and the little these guys, but it would still be really, really cute, right? So that's something I kind of want to do as well. So I have those two garments, and then I have the blanket that I want to do, and I see those being started in the near future. I don't know how long the orders for the yarn that I've placed are going to take to come in. I am going to try and finish the Mei Lee dress before I cast on anything else, but it's going to be hard. So I'm every time I'm sitting on the couch and I'm not working on the socks, I try to work on that dress because it is just knitting round and around and around. But of the two, Tartlet or the Pearls pullover, which one do you think I should start first? Let me know. I'd be curious to know what you think. Both of them I think will be really cute additions to her wardrobe. So finally, before we get into my updates, I have one more thing. It's kind of an acquisition, but it also kind of works in with things to come because it is a project that I could see casting on very soon. I think it's really cute. So I think it was last week. I have been wanting this whole time, since stores have been, non-essential services have been closed and we've been at home, I have been wanting to order something from my local yarn shop, Unwind Yarn House, just to keep her, show support, show that I'm thinking of her. But I'd go on the website, and it's hard when you don't really need, I find it hard to shop for things if I know I don't need anything. Like if I know, I'll go on there, I'll be like, oh, maybe I could get some sock yarn. And then my little brain will be like, you don't need any sock yarn. Like pretty much behind me there is all sock yarn. And I was like, well, maybe I could order some baby stuff. And I was like, yeah, but I have stuff. What would I order? So I go on the website, and I could just never pick anything. And then I think it was a week or so, it would have been before, obviously, I placed this order. So maybe earlier last week, I was watching some podcasts, and I'm pretty sure it was Squirrel Pie Productions that I was watching. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was that one. And she was talking about how she got some yarn from her local yarn store because they were doing this kind of like quarantine mystery set. So what you would do is you would go onto their website and they would have this listing and they would have different price points that you could choose from, and then you might give them like a little hint or some guidelines, and then they would put together this little mystery pack for you based on the price point that you chose. And if you've been a long time viewer, you know that I love a mystery pack. I used to order mystery boxes all the time. And so the idea of that just kind of really appealed to me. But I didn't give it much thought because she lives in, I think, California, and so I didn't think of it otherwise. I just thought it was a really cool idea. And then last week I was online, and I don't know if I just went onto the website or I saw someone post about it on Instagram, but Unwind Yarn House was doing these, she was calling them quarantine mystery sets or something like that. So same idea. You go on, she had the listing. I think she had about 5 different price points to choose from. The lowest one was about $30. I think the highest one was maybe $200. Basically, there was price points for, I think there was price points for what would be comfortable for most people's budgets. And so I picked the one that I was comfortable with, and what she asked you to do was just give her a word as kind of a starting point. So I gave her the word sweet, and then I suggested, if she could do some sort of baby themed set, that would be really, really great. And she had the option, because she is local to me, she had the option on checking out for porch delivery, and so I chose that. And then I just patiently waited for the package to arrive on my door, and it came yesterday. There was a knock at the door. Avery ran to see what it was, and there was this little bag sitting on my doorstep. So I was so excited to open it up. Actually, I was going to wait. I wanted to open it up during the episode today. But once Avery knows there's a gift or something wrapped up of any kind, she wants to unwrap it. So I was like, okay, fine. So we unwrapped it yesterday, and then I have it here to share with you. So I'm going to share with you what Karen put together for me. And again, this is another project that I could see wanting to start in the near future. Probably not right away, but very, very, very soon. So she put together, it's a pattern, it's some yarn, and there were some little notions and extras. I'm just going to take a moment and get them out of the bag so that you don't have to hear the crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. So first thing that was in the bag was this lovely little card, and she has a lovely note written on the back. It just says thank you. So that was really sweet. And then there was a pattern. So this is the pattern that she chose. It's called Wee Peanut. And later on, when I do the baby update, you will see how appropriate this pattern is, and she would not have known, so I thought that was really, really cute. But it's just this little cardigan with some cable detailing and some little buttons. So yeah, totally something that I would choose to make, and I could see it being very useful over the colder winter months. The yarn that she chose is actually a local dyer. This is Akara Yarns, and she sent it in this really pretty kind of, this is beigey blush shade with some darker speckles. There's brown speckles, but then I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but there's actually some dark blue speckles mixed in as well, which I think is really pretty. You can kind of see one right there. It's this like kind of dark navy blue speckle. And I was thinking, because usually when I try and pick out yarn for garment patterns, at least for, Avery and now Kira, I try and think of what outfits they might wear them with. And I thought this would be really sweet as the cardigan, and if she had some navy blue, she has a little navy blue sleeper right now that looks really, really cute on her. But if I had another little navy blue outfit, I'll have to keep my eye open. I thought this would be really, really cute layered over that. So this is the yarn here. And then for notions, she included this needle gauge from, it's got her little shop name on it. She sent some buttons that I think will coordinate really, really well. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but they've got like little owls on them. So those are really cute. So yeah, I actually really, really like that. I like how that looks with the yarn, so I would totally use those buttons with it. And then because my word was sweets, she added some little sweets. And I was going to eat these last night and just tell you I got them, but I was able to resist, and I will be enjoying these with my lunch today. So I just thought that was just a really a really fun idea, and I know there are other shops doing this kind of thing, so even if you're not local to me, I would have a look on the website of your local yarn shop and just see if they might be doing something similar, because I think it's a really fun way to show your support to them, get a little project to work on while we're all stuck at home, and then it's just, yeah, it's fun because it's kind of like a mystery thing. Obviously, mystery things are not for everyone because, you know, some people just like to be able to choose exactly what they get, but I've always loved a mystery pack, and so this was a pleasure to order and a pleasure to unwrap, and it will be a pleasure to knit. So now that I've got all that done, we can get into the update. So I have my monthly update, what my goals were for April, also what I'm hoping to achieve in May. I have a bingo update that I want to do, and then we will do the baby update. So yeah, this is going to be quite the beefy episode. So hopefully you are sitting down with a beverage and maybe a snack and just settling in. So let's start with my monthly update. So I'm just going to be looking down at my list so I remember everything. My goals for April were to finish my April DVD socks, which I did. I wanted to finish the body on the Cumulus blouse, which I did. Actually, no. I showed it to you finished, but it actually took me an extra day or two because I was trying to get those socks done and something else. So technically, I didn't finish it in the month of April, but I finished it so soon after that I still considered a win. So, and then finally it was to work on my loop bump in terms of spinning. Now, I didn't bring it to show you during the works in progress, but I will pop in a picture. I did work on it in the last week or so of April, and I think the last time I showed it to you on in an episode, I was working through the first bright pink section. I am now working through the gray section, and then I think I have one section each of the three colors to go before I finish it, and then that will be done. So I did work on it. So my goals for May are going to be finish my May DVD socks. I want to finish at least one sleeve of the Cumulus. It would be lovely if I got both sleeves done, but I want to finish just at least one sleeve. I want to finish the Maylee dress, and I want to finish the loop bump spinning, and then I want to start my Mackenzie knit. So one of the goals on my bingo card is to make Mackenzie, which is the daughter of one of my close friends. I want to make her, I try and make her something for her birthday every year, and her birthday is in June. I know what pattern I want to make. The yarn for it is one of the yarns that I ordered in one of my yarn orders that I mentioned, because I don't have anything that works for what I want to do. So I want to cast that project on and get that started. So those are my goals for May. So now let's get started with my bingo update. The last time I did it was about, I think, the end of February. So every 2 months I thought would be a good period to do a little update. So I'm going to scooch over so that I can post a picture of my card in progress. Okay, so first I'm going to post a picture the way it looked the last time we did an update so you can see where I was, and then I will now put in a picture of what it looks like now. So you can see that I have actually added quite a bit. The last time I shared my progress with you, I had 4 squares completed, and then I had progress on a bunch of squares, but I have since added another 4 squares. So up in the top left corner, I have finished the baby knee socks, and I've also finished the random baby knit. Now, I don't know if I counted the Little Miss Daisy as that, or the blank, I don't know. I've done a bunch of baby knits, so I know I counted one of them as my first random baby knit. I also completed the first 3 months of the Desert Vista Dyeworks Challenge, so January, February, March, so I was able to mark that off. The next 2 are the light box, so it's a sweater that I want to make for Avery and Kira, matching sweater, different colors but the same pattern. I've actually ordered the yarn for that. That was one of the things I ordered in my yarn orders, so we'll talk about that again. For months 4 to 6 of the DVD challenge, you can see I've started a little circle there for April. And then you can see on the next row that I've added 2 completed boxes. So get fiber stash down to 2 bins. I did that, and also make the baby hat, so that little tiny treasures bear ear hat, that's what I counted for that. And then I think the other boxes I had completed the last time, but I've added some more little check marks to the make 4 pairs of socks as gifts. If I finish, well, not if I finish, this pair here that I'm making for May for my friend, that will complete my last prepare it for that box. So I will be able to check that off very soon. And then if I finish the Cumulus blouse, I'll be able to check off the box for finish 2 pre-2020 whips. So I am making progress slowly but surely. So that is my bingo update. So I think that's it for my updates, and now we'll just add a little baby update. So it has been 5 weeks since Kira was born, and we are both doing really, really well. So I think I'll start with my update and then I'll go into hers. But yeah, I'm healing up really, really nicely. I'm feeling really, really good. For the most part, the pain is gone. I'm still very aware, like in certain situations I'm aware of my incision and I'm aware that my abdomen is sore sometimes, but for the most part I feel pretty good, and I just have to be careful not to do too much. Like I don't want to think that I'm feeling too good and do too much, because that can set you back. We've been going for walks almost every day. As long as the temperature is above 10 degrees, we'll go for a walk. So this week we've had a bit of a cold snap, and so we haven't been doing that. But last week, almost every day we went for a walk. I've timed it one day, and the route that we are currently doing is about 35-40 minutes. So I think that's pretty good. It doesn't take too long to do it. Avery comes with us every single time. We usually do it right after Kira eats and she's set for like her next sleep. We'll go do it and come back, and then usually she sleeps a little bit more once we're home. But that's been really nice to get out and just get moving. I have an ankle, guys. Okay, you don't understand how much of a big deal that is until you have no ankles. I think I mentioned last time, or maybe the time before, that my 3rd trimester and then the first 2 weeks after having her, my feet were so swollen, and right after having her, my legs swelled up as well. And so those 2 weeks after she was born was just so uncomfortable. It got to the point where I couldn't wear my socks anymore. I couldn't wear any shoes. The one pair of boots that I bought 2 sizes larger than my normal size were even getting hard to put on. And then last week, finally, things started to get better. And this week, I noticed one of my ankles has returned. So I can wear all my socks again. I'm actually wearing my favorite sandals today. So the rubber sandals that I like to wear around the house, I can put those on again. Oh, it's so nice. It's things that you take for granted, right? I will never take for granted being able to put socks on again or wearing just my regular shoes. But yeah, my feet still have a little bit of swelling, but it's nothing like it was before. So I feel like I'm starting to get back to normal. I've lost all my baby weight plus an additional 13 pounds. I don't know if that was just all the excess liquid I was carrying, but anyway, I'm feeling pretty good. As for Kira, again, she is 5 weeks old. And I think last time I talked about how she was just sleeping really, really well and eating really well. Basically, she would wake up and eat and then go back to sleep for 3 or 4 hours, and she's still mostly doing that, but she's kind of coming out of that, angel baby stage where they just sleep and eat and they're just really easy to deal with, and she is entering what I call the broken baby stage. So I remember this stage with Avery very, very well, because she also started off as a really kind of easy newborn, and then of course she was my first one, so I had no idea what to expect, but I remember all of a sudden she just started crying more. She was harder to settle. She was just, no matter what you did, she just didn't seem very happy. And I remember she had a doctor's appointment at one point, and I mentioned it to the doctor, just saying like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, because she's just not happy. And the doctor was just like, this is totally normal. Sometime between 4 and 6 weeks, they just go through this. They start this phase where they're just, I don't know why it is, but it is. And so going into this with Kira, I know what to expect. So this week, she has started going into the broken baby stage, because you go from this sleepy, perfect newborn, and all of a sudden it's like, my baby's broken, why are they crying all the time? And she doesn't cry all the time, she's just crying more. After she eats, she doesn't go down to sleep again as easily. She's more alert. I've told Avery it's just she's more alert, she's taking in more, and she just doesn't know what to do with herself. Clearly she'll get to the point where she's tired, but she just, yeah. So we're in that stage now, but she's still, a joy to deal with and to have around. She's Several times this week she's slept almost through the night, so for about 8 hours, which has been lovely. So yeah, things are just going really well with her. She's got 2 nicknames now, so one of them is Lamb Chop and one of them is Peanut. And it's funny because when she was the first couple of weeks when she was home, I call Avery Pumpkin. And just out of habit, I would, Kira would wake up and I'd just be like, hey Pumpkin, good morning or whatever. And Avery heard me and she made it very, very clear that I was not to be calling her Pumpkin. She needed her whole own name, and so she told me I could call her Peanut. So now Kira is Peanut, and there are still times when I slip up and I'll call her Pumpkin, and I'll hear from the other room, Avery will be doing her homework or playing on the computer or something. She'll be like, Peanut, call her Peanut. So I think that's funny, but anyway, so I can call her Peanut. And then the same thing happened with Dennis. So Dennis calls Avery Kiddo, and he called Kira Kiddo once, and Avery's like, I'm Kiddo. So he calls her Lamb Chop, and that kind of came up because there's this sound that she makes when she's sleeping that it just sounds like a little lamb. Like we'll be in another room and I'll swear I hear a sheep. So Lamb Chop and Peanut are her nicknames now. And otherwise, she is just doing really good. We've been doing tummy time and her neck is getting stronger, so she's able to hold her head up more. She's looking around more. I still don't feel like she really recognizes us or kind of reacts to us, but she's just starting to take in more things, and I know that will come. I know that recognition and that interaction will come. But yeah, so that's basically how things are going so far, and I think I forgot to mention this in the introduction, but I also wanted to leave you with one little ingredient tip. So because of the whole stay-at-home thing, Dennis has been doing the grocery shopping every week. He goes once a week, I give him a list. And grocery shopping with Dennis is always interesting. I've learned that I have to give him a list, and I've also learned that sometimes I have to be very specific, because even if I put down the type of item down on the list, he might bring something that's not quite what I wanted. So if I want pasta, I have to specifically say like what type of pasta, what brand of pasta, if it matters. Or even the cheese. Like I've asked him for like I'll put down shredded cheddar cheese, and he'll come back with like feta. So I find I have to be very specific, but even then sometimes I'll get a surprise. And then other times he'll just add things to the cart that I didn't even ask for, which can be fun, but also can be challenging because sometimes he brings home things that I would never buy. So that happened recently. He came home with the groceries and he had bought some cottage cheese, and I never buy cottage cheese. I think I tried in the past to buy it just because I know it's got a lot of protein in it and I know it's good for you. I maybe bought 1 tub when I was pregnant, and I can't do it. Like, it's just not something that appeals to me. So he brought home this tub of cottage cheese, and I was trying to figure out what to do with it because I knew I wasn't just going to eat it. Avery wasn't going to eat it. And so I ended up looking up recipe suggestions online, and I came across this thing that has just totally changed how I view cottage cheese. I could actually see buying it again for this purpose. So I thought I'd mention it just in case you're someone who likes cottage cheese. This is another way to use it. But if you don't like cottage cheese, this is a way that you can use it too that will kind of add, it made a really nice meal, to be honest. So what we ended up doing was using it to make an Alfredo sauce. And I found this recipe online. It's really not a recipe. It's very simple. I'll try and remember to link to it below. But basically what you do is you take the cottage cheese and you blend it together with some milk and spices till it's very, very smooth. And then you use it as an Alfredo sauce with pasta. And I think I added some chicken breast, and I also added some pancetta, and I think I also added maybe some broccoli or some sort of vegetable into it for dinner one night. And it was delicious. Like, if you had just given me this meal, I would never have guessed that the sauce was made with cottage cheese, and then compared to regular Alfredo sauce, it's much, much, much healthier. So it's just, I thought it was a really good option, and it's just something I had never thought of. So I thought I would share that with you, just in case it's something that might interest you in trying, especially in these times. I know a lot of people are baking, a lot of people are cooking. Nobody can find flour. I have actually had the urge to bake, and if you know me, you'll know that's a big deal because I am not a baker. My mom is a huge baker. It was not passed down to me. I don't even really enjoy baking cookies with Avery, but I've had the urge to bake. I've had the thoughts to bake. I've been looking up, quick bread recipes. I have a feeling that I'm going to try and make some cornbread this week. But it's just, yeah, I think this time at home is just doing crazy things to us. But anyway, if you want to try something new and the idea of kind of a healthier, protein-rich Alfredo sauce appeals to you, try it with cottage cheese. I was pleasantly surprised, and I might just have to put it on our grocery list again. But I think that is finally all I have for you. Oh my goodness, this episode is going to be so long. It's going to take so long to upload. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are doing really well in whatever situation you find yourself in, and you are staying home and staying safe. But that is all I have for you for today. I hope you have a lovely, lovely weekend until I see you again. And I will talk to you soon.